4 premierships, 1 junior club, and now Chad Warner's about to step onto Optus Stadium playing for something he's never represented before, with every memory of where it all began burning in his chest. G'day Swans fans, if you love the Bloods like I do, smash that subscribe button because today's story is about one of our own chasing something special back home in the West. Chad Warner isn't just playing State of Origin next February, he's playing for Willetton, for his dad Travis, for his mum Anita, for 4 straight flags and a childhood that shaped everything he is today. When the Swan star pulls on that Black Swans jumper at Optus Stadium on February 14th, it won't just be about Western Australia versus the Allies. It'll be about every kick at his junior club's oval, every mate he won those 4 premierships with, every memory that floods back when he walks past those goalposts in Perth's southern suburbs. We'll be playing for a little bit more, Warner told AFL.com.au, and that right there, that's what makes this story matter. Because for all the contract speculation, all the noise about him staying or going home, this is Warner's chance to show what wearing the Black Swan really means to him. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back to where it all started. Picture this. It's 2014 and a young Chad Warner is running around for Willetton Football Club in Perth's southern suburbs. He's not thinking about AFL stardom, he's not dreaming of grand finals at the MCG, he's just a kid playing footy with his mates, with his old man coaching and his mum running the canteen. 4 years, 4 flags, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, straight premierships through his high school years, with Travis Warner involved as a coach in every single one of them. The kind of success that bonds people for life, the kind of memories that never fade. Warner played at Willetton from Auskick right through to under-17s. And he wasn't alone. Luke Jackson, now tearing it up for Fremantle, was his teammate. Trey Rusco, who'd go on to Collingwood, was right there beside him. Melbourne Premiership defender Trent Rivers and Fremantle's Jeremy Sharp were on rival teams before they all ended up playing together for East Fremantle and WA's under-18s. That's the thing about junior footy in Perth. Everyone knows everyone. The connections run deep. And for Warner, those bonds never broke. Even now, 8 years after that last premiership in 2017, Warner still trains at Willetton every off-season. Not just because it's convenient, though yeah, it's a short walk down the road from home, but because something about that place brings him back to who he was before the pressure, before the expectations, before 70,000 fans screaming his name. Going back there and seeing the goalposts and everything, it's kind of nice, and everything feels a lot smaller. You can kind of relive those memories. Everything feels smaller. Think about that for a second. The ground that once felt massive when you were a kid, now it's tiny compared to the MCG or Optus Stadium, but those memories, they're still as big as ever. This is what Willetton gave Warner, not just 4 flags, but the ability to make great friendships, to work towards a goal as part of a team, to understand what it means to play for something bigger than yourself. His mum Anita was the canteen manager. His dad was on the coaching staff. This wasn't just a football club, it was family. And when you grow up like that, when footy is woven into every part of your childhood, it stays with you forever. So when Origin was announced, when Warner got the call that he'd be representing Western Australia at Optus Stadium on February 14th, it wasn't just about pulling on a state jumper. It was about representing every single person who'd been part of his journey at Willetton. Here's where things get interesting. Warner signed a 2-year extension with the Swans this year, through to the end of 2027. He knocked back overtures from Fremantle and West Coast, the 2 clubs every WA kid grows up dreaming about. He chose Sydney, he chose to stay. And yet, listen to how he talks about playing in Perth. Playing in Perth is something that I really love and look forward to each year. There's an ache in those words, isn't there? This longing. I really like playing on Optus Stadium. I think it's a ground where the Swans play well and where I play well too. Just the size and the loudness in that hostile crowd is something I really enjoy. A hostile crowd. That's what it usually is when the Swans rock up to Perth. 60,000 West Australians booing every time Warner touches the footy, probably half of them wishing he'd come home, wondering why he's still in the red and white. But on February 14th, that hostile crowd will be cheering for him, for once. It'd be great to have that hostile crowd cheering for us for once, Warner said. Can you imagine what that's going to feel like for him? To run out at Optus Stadium with his family in the stands, his junior teammates watching, his Willetton mates going absolutely mental, and for the first time in his AFL career, having every single person in that stadium on his side? This is the turning point in Warner's relationship with home, because he's made his choice. He's staying in Sydney, he's a Swan for life, that debate is done. But Origin gives him something different, a chance to scratch that itch, to show WA what they're missing without having to leave the club he loves. My number one goal would be to play a full game, Warner said. Not to dominate, not to win the medal, just to play a full game. To be 100% fit and out there for every single second, representing his state, his junior club, his family. Having that date locked in for February, we can really train and work around that point. So I'll definitely be training and preparing for that game and doing everything I can to make sure my body's 100%. I want to be having a red hot crack, and I'm sure all the other boys are too. A red hot crack. That's the most Chad Warner thing he could have said. The announcement of the Origin game has sent shockwaves through the AFL community. But for Warner, it's personal in a way it isn't for most players. Other WA stars have already started making contact, asking Warner to put in a good word with coach Dean Cox. Yes, that Dean Cox, the West Coast legend who Warner now gets to play under. 5 players have been announced so far, and you can bet Warner's been in the group chat firing everyone up. Patrick Cripps is one name Warner's particularly excited about. The Carlton captain and inside bull, paired with Warner's outside speed, absolute scenes waiting to happen. The combination of Cripps winning the contested ball and Warner bursting away with that electric pace, opposition coaches are already having nightmares about it. But here's what's really special. Warner's junior teammates from those 4 Willetton premierships will be watching. The boys he grew up with, the ones he still trains with every off-season, they'll be in the stands at Optus Stadium. And for the first time since 2017, they'll get to watch their mate win something representing them again. You could see it in Warner's voice when he talked about it. The pride, the excitement. This matters to him in a way that goes beyond football. Sydney fans might be watching this thinking, hang on, should we be worried? And look, I get it. When your star midfielder talks about how much he loves playing in Perth, how much Optus Stadium means to him, there's always that little voice in the back of your head. But here's the thing. This is exactly why Warner's staying was so important, because he gets to have both. He gets to be a Swan and represent WA. He gets to chase premierships in Sydney and still honour his roots. That's the beauty of Origin coming back. This reminds me of another Swan star who played with that same connection to where he came from. Paul Ross, born in Victoria, but when he pulled on the red and white, he became Sydney through and through. The difference is, Warner's got both now. He's a Swan who gets to show WA what he's made of without leaving the club. For Sydney, this is massive. Warner going into the 2025 season with an extra edge, an extra motivation, training with Origin circled on the calendar, that's the kind of thing that elevates a player's entire year. He's going to be absolutely flying. And for WA Footy, this is their chance to claim one of the competition's genuine superstars as their own, even if it's just for one game. Warner in the Black Swans jumper, playing alongside Cripps, potentially Jackson, Rivers, Sharp, all those kids from the Perth junior system who made it, that's box office stuff. But beyond all the football analysis, beyond the tactics and the build-up, this is about something deeper. It's about a 25-year-old who's achieved incredible things in the AFL, but never forgot where he came from, who still trains at his junior club's oval in off-season, who still thinks about those 4 flags and his dad coaching and his mum in the canteen. The date's locked in, February 14, 2025, Valentine's Day, and Shad Warner is about to show his first love, WA Footy, exactly what she means to him. At the end of the day, this is what makes footy special. It's not just about the big moments at the MCG and the grand finals. It's about a kid from Willetton who never forgot his junior club's goalposts, who carries those 4 premierships with him everywhere he goes, and who gets one night to play for all of it at once.
That's our number 4. That's Chad Warner. And on February 14, he'll be playing for a little bit more. Let me know in the comments, will you be cheering for Warner in Origin even though he's repping WA? Hit like if you're backing our boy no matter what jumper he's wearing, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, Swans fans.